10 with my co-hosts Nash Cowboy and King Earl. How you guys doing?
Doing well, doing well.
Doing great.
Good to have you guys on the show. Very excited to have you guys here. We have a great show. We got a lot of things to talk about today. First and foremost, the one of the big topics that we want to talk about is this right here. I'm going to make it on the big screen. Let's put it right here. Let's go right here. So Donald Trump has announced today officially, and Elon Musk has agreed to this new job for him, that he will create a government efficiency commission led by Elon Musk to audit U.S. agencies. I want to ask you, King Earl, what do you think about this news?
I think that is great news. I mean, I'd spoken on it before that we need some oversight, and the more oversight, the better as far as private oversight, rather than government interference. So less government, more private third party oversight that can report to Congress and actually see what's going on. And then maybe people can find out that it's finally Congress that isn't making the changes. And I mean, as much efficiency as he did with just Twitter alone, I view that he can do great things in a quick amount of time as far as just oversight of financial. But, if he's going to be in charge of the efficiency of the Doge agency, Department of Government Efficiency, Doge, the acronym. Yeah. If he's going to be in charge of that, who's going to be responsible for fixing what he finds? And who does he report to? That's the next question. Because, I mean, is he Space Force 2.0? Because I've also heard Donald Trump's going to create a Space Force National Reserve. So, all new types of plans, and I'm very interested to see how they all work out.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Obviously, there's a huge election coming in like 63 days or something like that. It's absolutely crazy. And whoever thought that Donald Trump would be teaming up with Elon Musk and Donald Trump would be giving jobs to Elon Musk in the government in America. Never thought this would happen. This is like two superheroes working together, like Legends League. This is crazy. Nash Cowboy, what do you think about this?
I think it's a good idea. However, Trump's already got a target on his back. Obviously, this is probably going to put an even bigger target on his back because obviously the assassination attempt was an inside job. We all know that. I mean, let's not beat around the bush. And when you are going to put together something that's going to audit those people and probably get a lot of them fired, it's probably going to put a little bit bigger target on your back. A little bit bigger.
He's so like, the target's big anyway, so at this point, he can't make it any bigger. I guess that's what he's
up the security, that's for sure, because he's probably just pissed off people just by saying that. Because let's face the facts, Elon Musk came into Twitter, which is now X, and fired 75% of people like that. Just imagine what he'd do in the government. He would save so much damn money in the first week. And I'm all for it because we have way too much government overspending. And I would say at least 75% of those jobs can go bye-bye, and it would not hurt America one bit. So, yeah, let's do it. I'm all for it. All for it.
Yeah, I don't even know what to think about it. I think it's a little bit radical. I've never seen someone who was one of the world's richest men all of a sudden being put into government. I don't know how that works. I think Trump does things very different, clearly. It might work. He is very successful, but it might not work. So it's going to be interesting to see. And that's definitely two very big egos coming together to make America great. I think that would be something very, very special if it could happen. But like you said, I think they're going to put a lot of targets on his back, and there's going to be a lot of people fighting to make sure that that doesn't happen.
Yeah, because they're scared of losing their job.
Yeah, so let's go to this next topic here. I want to talk about this. So Kamala Harris has agreed to debate Donald Trump, and Donald Trump's strategy is to let her talk. King Earl, what do you think about that strategy? You think that's a good strategy or a bad strategy?
I think it's a horrible strategy because to beat her, you need to talk about your policies. And nobody's talking about their freaking policies. And, if he can get her to talk about the taxation rises and the fracking and things like that she's flip-flopped on, or what exactly she has or hasn't represented while she's been in the vice presidency, border versus global affairs, or crises going on with the withdrawal in Afghanistan or things like that. I mean, he needs to be more pressing, but in a debate, you're not even going to see that because it's only so long and it's extremely governed now so that you can't actually get out what's going on. I mean, he needs to plain and simply do like in the old days, get on these late night shows and do freaking interviews and quit having it all cushioned with just rallies. If he's going to be on national television, that's what he needs to be doing. Ronald Reagan did it, worked out great for him. If you're the next Ronald Reagan president, if you're the Ronald Reagan president, why aren't you doing the same? Why aren't you the great communicator, as Reagan was called?
Okay. Nash Cowboy, what do you think about this strategy of Trump to let Kamala Harris talk during their debate?
I don't think he's just gonna let her talk. There's no way that I believe that he's gonna just let her talk. Not gonna happen. I definitely think he's going to let her speak some stupid things and then pounce on her. I've never known Donald Trump to just sit there and be quiet. So if he did, I would be very surprised. Like Earl said, you definitely need to bring some things up. Her policies are absolute garbage. However, what's he got to offer? So let's see what happens. I can't wait to see it myself.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see it, and I will be watching 100% from Canada. So we will definitely do our best to keep you updated on that debate when it happens. All right, let's talk about this topic right here. So billionaire Mark Cuban says that if Kamala Harris taxes unrealized gains, it will kill the stock market. King Earl, do you agree with Mark Cuban?
I agree, but I mean, how are you going to introduce new taxation when it's not law? There's no taxation without representation. Her policy is completely full of holes and bullshit like she is. I mean, this policy has seen more dicks than she has. And, it never gets passed, kind of like her herpes. But, the thing is that it's just bullshit. I mean, you're trying to destroy the top economic builders of your generation, and instead of just trickling them down, you're trying to put them out of business. Did she not learn anything from Joe Biden's failed abolishment of small mom and pop businesses? Anything over $100,000 taxation that Obama passed, was extra tax, and then Biden didn't raise taxes. He just put mom and pop out of business where they couldn't generate any more revenue, and then just outsourced everything overseas so he could tax the hell out of it there. And now she's going to just do more taxation on things when we still don't even have a global market here in the U.S. where your not normal citizen can actually invest in global markets. I mean, where the fuck's the SEC on that? Where's her economic reforms on that? If you're going to fucking do something, tax it when we're making more money, not take away money before we even make it.
I agree 100%. What do you think, Nash? What do you think about this?
I think taxing unrealized gains, especially that high, oh my goodness, would definitely crash the stock market along with crypto and every other kind of investment.
Yeah, because nobody would want to hold anything, and everyone's going to move their money out of America.
What's the point? If you're being taxed that much, you're losing money. I mean, it's worse than sitting in a bank at that point. So Earl, did you want to say something there?
Yeah, the great news is that Kamala Harris is now accepting donations of Bitcoin for her campaign, even though she wants to tax it 45 fucking percent.
My goodness.
Okay,
But yeah,
she came out this morning.
so yeah, I think if we
Donations will
crash
be
the
taxed
stock
at
market,
45%.
I completely agree with Mark Cuban. I think it would do horrible things in the stock market, the crypto market, every freaking market. And no, she doesn't care what it does. I 100% believe that it is planned to bring down America.
Yeah, and it's just crazy that she would even suggest something like this in the middle of an election. It blows my mind actually. And
People are stupid enough to buy it that we need it.
who is going to vote for that? It blows my
Well,
mind. Let's get into this next topic here. Trump says, I will make America the world capital for crypto and Bitcoin. He says, I am pledging today that in my second term, we will eliminate a minimum of 10 old regulations for every one new regulation. We will be able to do that quite easily, actually. Instead of attacking industries of the future, we will embrace them, including making America the world capital for crypto and Bitcoin. What do you think about this, King Earl?
Oh, Jesus. Deregulation is always good. He did great things with that. I wish he could have done a little bit more whenever he was in office last time, especially with the deregulation of infrastructure, which the $1.9 trillion infrastructure bill went through, and I have yet to see any of it being put forth to anything. Imagine that. Probably because of all the red tape. And then you have people like California who like to use extra funds that are left over or stagnant for other things, such as giving illegal immigrants $150,000 down payments on homes. So, he might be able to get it passed and deregulated, but, there's some things that he needs to regulate a little bit more, as we all know. But, it'd be great if he does it. Crypto power of the world. Talk is cheap. It is what it is. And now, I'm listening to his sons talk about projects, and they're talking about fucking stable coins, and that's not going to make anybody any money. Who the fuck invests in the stable coins? So, whatever. But, talk's cheap. It can come in one ear out the other, or just stick around in the asshole for a little bit. But, until the proof's in the pudding. So, more walking, less talking.
Oh, okay. Nash Cowboy, what do you think about this?
I kind of think the same thing. You could make it. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see America put back, like Trump has mentioned before, start putting back a Bitcoin reserve and just start funneling a little bit more into our superpower, into the crypto world. However, like Earl said, talk is cheap. What are you going to do? Let's see the plan for that. Let's try and embrace the industries going forward into the whole market. Kamala is definitely trying to kill it, and we need it stopped. And whatever path we have to do to take that, I think it's a hard road even for Trump to get into the president's seat, let alone make us the crypto capital of the world.
Now, don't you guys think that America should be the crypto capital of the world, considering America is the capital of the world for everything? So shouldn't America be the crypto capital of the world? Why would they miss on the opportunity to be the crypto capital of the world? Why wouldn't they embrace the opportunity to be the crypto capital of the world? We're going to talk about it later, how fast crypto is growing and Bitcoin's growing in comparison to other assets. Nothing is growing as fast. No economy is growing as fast. No asset is growing as fast as Bitcoin. Gold's doing well. Don't get me wrong. Gold's at all-time highs. Gold's doing really well. But nothing is growing at the speed of Bitcoin. So don't you guys, as Americans, think America should be the crypto capital and the Bitcoin capital of the world? Shouldn't America embrace Bitcoin, guys? Since you guys are into technology and you guys are into crypto yourselves, don't you think it's vital for the growth of Bitcoin and for cryptos for America to be the world leader in crypto?
Well, just to go into it, just a little bit, it's kind of important, but I mean, it's only important to a stance that if we want to continue to succeed and have ample room for revenue and free moving money in markets, yes. However, the rest of the freaking world just wants us to get into it so they make money. And I mean, if it wasn't for America's amount of wealth, number one, as it is, crypto would be dead in the water for the most part. Number two, they just want more. I mean, that's what everybody get more involved. It has more money, so I can make more money. It's one thing after the other, but you know, other countries do pretty damn good in the technology sector and in the marketing sector, and there's no wrong way for the most part. I mean, hell, I think El Salvador could be the world leader in crypto, and we'd all just be as happy. Except for, people wouldn't go for that because it ain't got the daggone wealth that the U.S. does. So let's be real about it. People don't want the U.S. to be at the top. They want the wealth.
Have the sizzle that America does.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's all about the wealth.
Yes.
It's all about the wealth. But,
the rich getting rich.
the U.S. only wants to do it, and especially the Trumps, for the stable coins to continue to have the US dollar, which we're moving away from with crypto, and freaking why you're going to create stable coins to continue the dominance of the US dollar within any market. Well, we're trying to move away from the US dollar and the crypto thing, and that's why I said, I hope he doesn't fuck it up, and it's continuing to go down a different road, and that's a different subject altogether with the holes within this plan and his actual algorithm for his coding.
Yeah, it's a very interesting time right now for crypto. We're obviously in like a bear market, which could turn into a bull market literally any day. So we've been in a bear market kind of downward, sideways for, I would say, 6 months now. And I believe it's going to continue into October, where I predicted that we're going to see a bull market. I know you've predicted that you believe the bull market will be in December. I know Nash has also predicted he believes it'll start in around October. Do you guys have any change in your philosophy with that? Do you guys still believe that we're on pace? Do you feel like everything is falling into place for this bull market? Do you guys think that things are looking different? Are things going the way you thought they would? What do you guys think?
Well, I think, it was assessed that Bitcoin was on some of the moves for the charts. I don't know if you have it on the all-time high chart available for the year-to-date, the all-time available
I can
for
pull
Bitcoin.
It up.
Yeah. If we can do that, and then they'll be able to see what I'm talking about.
All right. So this is Bitcoin. You can see that this is the 1 year chart. You can see we've come from 25,000 to where we are now at 56,000. So Bitcoin's already doubled in the last year. And I've already predicted that we're going to see a bull market in October. Obviously, Earl has said December, the bull market will start. Nash is predicting, I believe, October as well. So we are kind of in September now, like the last month before this hopefully all gets started. So is everything falling as planned? To me, everything is kind of going exactly as planned.
Well, if you could pop up the all the entire history of it there.
That's the all-time
There
chart.
we go. That's the one. That's the one. Okay. So, you see the last pump there where you have your first blue square. That was the last bull cycle. But, we just had the major dip, right? And Bitcoin analysis were saying that Bitcoin could drop all the way down to 40,000, right?
Yeah, looking at that.
And so this is the little hump right here with the little dump. So the next one should be a, let's see, there it is. The next one should be a little hump after this. So we should have a nice little pump back up to the 59,000 region. Okay, it might break 60. As I told you last time, I think it was 2 weeks ago, that we were going to see some more downward momentum, and that we would be trading within the 56 to 59,000 range for the next month to 2 months, right? With continued accumulation for that little wave. So far, right on track. But past that, I think that we just had the major dip. So, we're going to do a little bit of sideways here, and then we're going to have a little bit of a ripple for one up. And I think that we're going to have lesser lows and higher highs from here on for 5 weeks. And then after the 5th week, we should have one more major dump off to the $57,000 range. And then we should be ready to continue into the pump, the actual full bull market. So that's why I'm kind of saying around the December region, because that's going to take us directly out of September with the sideways accumulation. October is where we're going to have the nice little pump and then the dip back down to 57,000. And then November is going to be election. We'll do a little bit of sideways. And then December, it's going to be ready to rip and roll, baby. And that's not financial advice. So please do your own research. And these numbers are out of my ass. And yeah, you should only invest what you're willing to lose, especially if you're betting with me.
What do you think, Nash Cowboy? Do you think we're still on pace to have a huge October? Do you think that we're not? Do you think that?
Yeah, I think by the end of closer to the end of September, we're gonna have what's Bitcoin sitting at right now? How much?
56,000.
56,000. I think we should be in the 60,000 range by September 20th, 25th, and then a small dip, and then I think it's all green from there until until what somewhere around April. March, April. I don't know. It's got. I'm expecting a pretty good beginning of the October, and then I mean, like I said, a little dip after about September 20th, 25th. I think we'll have a little dip, and then it'll be all green after that for quite some time. And I'm ready for it. October is going to be a boom, I believe. It could be a little bit prolonged because of all the institutional money coming in and setting things back a little, and a little bit of confusion. But I believe we're still on track for a pretty good October.
Ding, ding, ding.
Let's take a look at this. So I want to talk about this. So I agree with a lot of your guys' assessment. And like I said, I predicted that we're going to go ballistic in October, and it's going to go until about March, April of next year. So I'm ready. I'm prepared. I know you guys are ready. You're prepared. Altcoins are just dumping. A lot of people are dumping assets. It feels like even the stock market. And I'm wondering if it's because of Harris. Now look at what she's saying here. This is just getting more and more shocking. We talked about the taxes, but I want to get into it even more. Kamala Harris is proposing a 45% long-term capital gains tax, the highest since 1922, the highest in 102 years. 102 years. Plus a 25% tax on unrealized capital gains for wealthy individuals. So I want to get into that because we talked about it, but I want to get into it deeper. What does that mean? What that means is if you own Bitcoin and you have 50 grand in Bitcoin and it goes to 100 grand in Bitcoin, you're going to have to pay 25% of tax on that $50,000 in profit you've made, whether you sold your Bitcoin or not. To me, that is like shocking. And this is something I think everyone needs to really understand. And I don't think she can become the next president of America for these specific reasons. King Earl, what do you think about this? 45% tax.
Oh, I wonder if she's blowing Xi Jinping. I wonder if she's blowing Xi Jinping, or Putin.
Tax everybody to death. She just wants everyone to leave America.
Yeah, well, she's got to fund her crazy ass liberal fucking ideas, commie ideas somewhere. She has to make America broke so that they rely solely nothing on but the government's assistance in a pure communistic way. So she has to take the wealth away to redistribute it to everybody else. But it says the highest in 102 years. There was no tax on unrealized gains 102 years ago.
Yeah.
We're talking about 1924, right before the Great Depression.
Yeah, 1922, the highest
the
ever.
Fuck? Yeah, I mean, it's not a tax. It's not a law. There's no law saying you have to pay the taxes. If you're going to pay the law or make the law, then you have to have representation. What's the taxation going to be moved for representation? It's not an IRS debt or taxation. It's not a state debt. It's a new federal taxation. There's no federal taxation on that. You know what I mean? So it's completely bogus and it's completely crazy.
It's shocking. It's shocking.
Yeah.
Why would anybody vote for somebody who's proposing this? Blows my mind. Do people really understand what this means?
I'll tell you.
45% tax means on 100 grand, you're paying 45 grand in tax. You're only left with 55K, which means you're pretty much giving the government almost as much as what you're making.
I mean, it's almost like the lottery. You already give that away if you claim money now versus payments over the future. You're already losing 45% of what they would consider net profit loss for capital gains tax, but not unrealized tax or unrealized gains.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the craziest things I've ever seen. What do you think about this, Nash Cowboy?
Here's what I think. Okay. Here's why people will like it. Let me give you what I believe the liberal side view is. They have convinced the people that this is only going to affect rich people, the 1%ers. All right. And people are eating this alive, and they just strongly believe that, even though it's not. And
the 1%ers don't pay any tax, and they never will because they got loopholes.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you the way
companies and charities and hidden companies and offshore accounts and different ways they can hide their money so they can avoid this type of taxation. If you implement this type of taxation, most Americans that are wealthy are going to move their business elsewhere.
Exactly. But that's what people are looking at. They don't realize that it could strongly affect them, not only just directly, but indirectly. If it affects me and I have a business, and I have you hired on, it's going to affect you.
Of course.
And they don't realize that. They just think, oh, tax the rich. They need to pay their fair share. Oh, it's a bunch of bullshit. Okay. But they've got them convinced that it's all to help them in the long run.
You know what they're doing to destroy small businesses? They've increased the hourly wage so much that the average small business can't afford to hire anybody.
Exactly.
So,
well, on top of that, you have 45%. You have 45% unrealized tax, and then you have 28% corporate tax. So you're left with what, 22% of your freaking check of profit, and then you have your profitable loss for a long term, but you have made no money. I mean, is that her Green New Deal? Is drive all the businesses out of fucking America? And that's the way she's going to make us green?
That's what it looks like.
I'm telling you,
it looks like to me. That's why I'm talking about it, because I'm like shocked at what's happening here. I've never seen an election in my life where somebody has so many poor, bad campaign policies and still expects to win and is smiling in people's faces and saying, yeah, we're going to tax the rich. Well, they're not realizing the rich are the ones that are creating all the jobs. The rich are the ones that are building businesses. The rich are the ones that are innovating, making things happen. The rich are the ones that are going to move their business and their money elsewhere because they're not going to want to be taxed at such an egregious level. And they're going to move their money to El Salvador and Mexico and Switzerland and Portugal and Thailand and other countries that have better taxation options.
Yeah.
They just will. It's just the way it's going to be. You know, and it's almost as if she's doing everything she can, similar to Trudeau, to drive everyone out of their own countries and
AOC.
flood the countries with illegal immigrants that are taking the jobs of American-born residents and Canadian-born residents and people all over the world. So the entire economy is falling apart. And that's why we're getting a terrible jobs number. I don't know if you guys heard about the jobs number, but it's shocking. Shocking. So they've been lying about the amount of jobs that are being created. The amount of jobs that are being created are shrinking. The amount of jobs that are out there are shrinking. The amount of unemployment is growing. The amount of people that are out of work is growing. I'm hearing it. Like, I'm talking to a lot of people here in Canada, and it's almost as if 1 out of every 2 people I talk to is out of work. I'm talking about real estate agents. I'm talking about car salespeople. I'm talking about people that are self-employed. I'm talking about almost every type of industry right now is shrinking. The movie industry. There's a recession happening. A real recession that's happening right now. You guys agree or disagree? Am I making this up?
No, you're not making it up. I mean, it's the undisclosed recession that nobody would talk about. And they wouldn't say, we've already been in a freaking recession for over 2 years now. They just wouldn't call it that. They're still not going to call it that because then they would fall on him. And then, on her failed policies, they don't care because she's a woman. So they'll just say, that's what happens when you put a woman in office. So it's going to look bad on every freaking body there. And why they don't see that, I have no freaking idea why.
What do you think, Nash Cowboy? Anything else you want to say about this topic before we move on?
It's pretty much covered there. We already know it's horrible tactics, a horrible thing to do, and it will absolutely decimate what we have here.
Yeah, it's
in a good way of saying it, in a non-sexist way, that's woman math for you. Okay.
All right, let's get into this topic here. Terraform Labs moves 62.8 million in Bitcoin amid final wind down steps. King Earl, this is a topic you're very talking about. I want to know what's your opinion on this.
My view is that, we already knew that they already lost the lawsuit with the SEC directly after Ripple. They did go ahead and fine them. And the doors are closed on Terraform Classics Eve, but they can continue on with the fork that they already created. They have until the end of the month to go ahead and they reopened up the window for people to actually move funds back and forth between Terra 1, Terra 2. And so you have until the end of the month to get all your funds off of Terra Classic or they are gone bye-bye forever. Oh, wow. So even at the pennies that they might be worth, and you've been stuck in it this whole time because you refuse to sell, well, now is your opportunity to get out before the door is completely closed and they go bankrupt.
Wow. Nash Cowboy, what do you think about this?
I played around with Terra a little bit, not a whole lot, but after it crashed and everybody's like, you'd be stupid to invest in it. Me and Earl talked about it a little bit. We both threw a little bit of money in there. I've actually made a little bit of money off of Terra.
Really?
So, obviously it's not something I would sink a lot of money into to begin with because of the whole scandal around it. But if you play cards smart, you can still make money on drops like this. Just don't go in too big. Like Earl said, you've got just a little bit of time to get your money out of there, and then it's bye bye. So, um, not financial advice, but I would be hitting that sell button if I had anything in there right now.
Well, I think that this is good because finally they need to get this passed and behind them, get all of these scams and all of these scandals behind the crypto space, and get all of these, behind us so we can move forward and look at bigger, better days in the world of crypto. And I think that there is going to be more regulation as we move forward. But I think regulation needs to be done properly. I think Trump is the right person for the job. And I think Trump will loosen a lot of regulations to make crypto absolutely fly, Bitcoin absolutely fly, stocks absolutely fly. I think he'll make housing more affordable again. He'll create a plan to make housing affordable again. I think he'll fix the American economy, and hopefully the world economy will follow suit. So this is good, and I hope that this can get behind us and we can move forward from these types of scandals in the crypto world. All right, let's talk about this right here. This is huge news. It just came out today. MasterCard launches crypto card enabling users to spend in 100 million European merchants. Now, I do have a Portuguese passport. I do plan to use it in the next couple of years and make a life in Portugal. So the opportunity to be able to spend my crypto right out of my wallet, crypto wallet, connected to a credit card in Europe is absolutely phenomenal. I think it's a phenomenal opportunity. I'm really excited about it, and I will take advantage of this. What do you think about this, King Earl? Is this something you're excited about?
I'm excited for the doors that it opens up as far as people being able to actually utilize it. I already carry a Visa crypto card, so it's nothing new to me. I've looked at other ones that are called cold wallets, where it's a card that you can actually utilize. So I've been looking in that a little bit because it's kind of like a ledger that's just a banking card. So I looked at that a little bit. But it's great that's going to open up the doors a little bit more. But as Russia and BRICS turn to these digital currencies, it also opens up the door where MasterCard can be used in those locations as well for transmitting and utilizing it there and moving away from traditional banking, which is always a good thing. And fuck stable coins, Donald Trump, you're fucking it up.
Mhm.
Okay. Nash Cowboy, what do you think about this? Are you excited about this news? Are you as excited about this news as I am?
I'm not. Like Earl said, there's some things that are similar out there. I don't think it can help. Yeah. It may make people a little more aware of it. There's really not. Crypto's still a baby, so it's not like the whole world is invested in crypto. So maybe it will bring some attention to the whole crypto market and the adoption of it, and bring some more people in. So it could help there. MasterCard is a huge thing. So it's possible that it can help, but it's not a very big thing in my eyes. But it could help. It could help.
See, I look at it like this. MasterCard wants Bitcoin. So they're going to let people pay in Bitcoin. Now, if you've got Bitcoin on an exchange, you got to pay fees. But if you can use your Bitcoin from your ledger and purchase things using your credit card, you can literally stay off of the map and literally never really be taxed. If you're in a country like Portugal where you don't have to pay tax on Bitcoin transactions. So you can literally have this credit card and you can travel across Europe and use these transactions and literally kind of stay off the radar. I think that's kind of a very cool thing for someone like me that has a ledger that wants to travel to Europe and is thinking about kind of, being, eventually one day fully crypto. I think it's a good way to go. I think it's a great way to go. And that way I don't have to put my crypto onto an exchange and then sell it to get cash. I could just use my credit card. So kind of like that idea.
It's good. Don't get me wrong, but part of the problem I've run into with my traveling is that here in the U.S., I cannot move money from USDT into other currencies of stable coins. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
there's always going to be a conversion ratio whenever you're doing it. But I mean, the only way you can get into their currency is put your USD, let's just say, into the ATM with your card and pull out their currency, which is still a good thing, but there's going to be an ATM withdrawal fee, and then there's going to be a conversion fee, and it'd be a lot more simple if we could actually move our money from one currency in crypto to another currency in crypto, like just as simple as we can any other crypto, and just pay the transaction fee. Because currently, I can only load up my card with USD, right?
Yeah.
Whether it be USDT or USDC, it only loads up as USD. Now we need to solve that issue, and that will open up the doors to where the US can get more involved with the Forex exchange of digital currencies, like some of these other countries have already been doing.
Okay. Nash Cowboy, what do you think about this?
I think the same thing. Like I said before, I think it could help, but there are some issues with it, and we need to just attack those issues. I mean, MasterCard's not going to just solve the problem immediately. There's going to be a path that needs to be taken along the way, whether they got a card or not.
MasterCard wants your Bitcoin. That's the way I look at it. Like, I don't think people are looking at it the way I'm looking at it. MasterCard
Of course they want your Bitcoin,
right?
And they want all the fees that go along with it.
And they want you to get your Bitcoin off of your ledger and spend it on their product.
Yeah, exactly. So they can make money out of it.
Of course, that's all they care about. And this is just another way for the rich to get richer. And I have a feeling the MasterCard probably will never sell that Bitcoin. They'll just hold it. So maybe buy MasterCard stock. So anyways, let's get into the next topic here. So this is massive. These Venezuelan gangs taking over buildings in Colorado. Now they're taking over buildings in Chicago. Donald Trump has come out and said, this is crazy what's happening in America. Nobody's doing anything. When he becomes president, he's going to eliminate these Venezuelan gangs that are taking over buildings in Colorado and Chicago. Do you think that it's going to be as easy for him to do that as he says it is? Nash Cowboy, or actually King Earl? Go ahead first.
Well, number one, yes, he can start with part of the thing of pre-screening people who come in to the U.S. region at the border, shut down the border, and then the massive deportation that it's already done. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. And then on the criminal deportation, so it will help, that he can do that. But if he was going to solve gang violence in a total, Chicago would be a place to do it. But the problem is that the mayor there will not even admit the issues that are there and how she's going to solve it. It's not his problem to solve it. His problem will be the immigration issue and on the federal level, but we don't need more feds in the state level incidents. And, God bless it, let these liberal fucking shitholes burn to hell, until they fucking vote a different way and figure out they've been fucking it up the whole time. That's what it's got to come down to, because, you're going to continue voting these dumbasses into office at your local level, That's where all your change for your community happens. It's not on a federal level. Donald Trump's not going to snap his fingers and some shit's going to get done in a state. He's going to fucking dispatch the National Guard or the Army Reserve, military reserve there. No, it has to be done by fucking Congress. And then that's at a state level thing. It's the same issue you ran into when trying to declare martial law and lock down for January 6th. You couldn't do it without the mayor's approval. In Chicago, can't do it without the mayor's approval. The only place you can do that is Texas, because Texas has its own military dedicated to Texas alone and not under the guise of the federal government or the U.S. government. So, fuck around and find out. They need to fucking find out so they can fuck around some more.
Hash Cowboy, what do you think?
I think this is it's the fact that they're there to begin with is all part of the plan. The inside job to take down America and bring it to our knees and use them as voters. All right, there's already going to be. It's open. They're going to be voting. In a lot of states are going to allow it. It's crazy. Now they're just coming in, taking over buildings as they wish, and then they're going to somehow use this to try and take away guns. And because of things happening, I guarantee it. Now, this kind of thing would not happen in my state. I promise you. They have strategically placed these people in states that are liberal, that aren't going to do anything. I hear the same things happening in Chicago now, taking over buildings. But you know what? This shit doesn't happen in Tennessee, and I'll tell you why. I don't know if you know what that sound is, but we have the right to carry here. Okay?
Amen.
The
Nash Cowboy's always got a pistol on his hip.
Absolutely. You want it.
Tennessee.
It won't happen here because we have the legal right to carry it without a permit. We're constitutional carry. We walk in any store we want with it on our side. There's 29 other states that do that, and I guarantee the shit doesn't happen in those states either. I welcome it. Bring this shit to me. I will start World War III myself. Let's go.
We will solve it for you.
Well, let's not start World War III, but let's get into this. So the U.S. debt, the interest per day on U.S. debt used to be $1 trillion a day. During COVID, it went to $2 trillion a day. You'd think after COVID it would get better, right? No. It's now at $3 trillion a day. King Earl, what's happening here with America? $3 trillion a day of debt.
3 billion. 3 billion. Billion,
Sorry,
not trillion.
$3 billion in debt per day. What's going on here?
That's just the interest on it. Well, what's going on here is the Fed's hiked up the rates. And I mean, that's what you're dealing with. They're going to continue borrowing money, and they have no money until they turn the printing press back on, which they still have to borrow. So, they're just doing it in small pockets right now through taxation of inflation. So rather than taxing us to death and actually making it up front for the taxation, they're just doing it through inflation, which is a backdoor taxation to the U.S. dollar and the U.S. people. So, I mean, it's going to happen, especially when you hike up the rates. On top of that, they're not going to solve the issue. Where the fuck is the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, whose number one response of kicking out the last Speaker of the House was there's been no financial reform or decision on the budgeting plan or the financial plan for the debt ceiling for the United States. And that is why we're kicking you out, because it's a continuing nonstop issue that has no resolve, and there's been nothing brought to the table except for pass it on to the next step. He's been in power for over 6 months. Where the fuck is his plan? Because in that stance, he needs to go to.
Yeah, it's a pretty messy situation. $3 billion a day of interest, and it's growing fast. What do you think about this, Nash Cowboy? Scary?
I think Trump and Elon need an office so damn bad it's not even funny. What we have in there right now, like I said before, look, the whole Kamala Biden thing, all right? She's as worthless as a steering wheel on a mule, okay? They're not going to solve any of this. They're just going to keep giving money here, printing money there, blah, 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 yada, yada. You put Trump and Elon in an office and give Elon the rights to audit people, and I guarantee you're going to get rid of a bunch of this oversight government spending that's unnecessary, buying turtle parks in Florida and paying for Mexico City's abortions and all kinds of other bullcrap, and sending money to Ukraine and Israel and who knows where else and whose pockets are being lined. You have to audit them. You have to bring down the government overreach and overspending, and then those billions will start to deplete, and sooner or later it will balance out.
All right, let's talk about this. I like your guys' points. The United States is the second largest monetary asset in the world behind gold. Number 6 is Bitcoin, despite the fact that Bitcoin's been only around since 2009. So Bitcoin's only 15 years old. But at 15 years old, Bitcoin is the 6th largest asset in the world. My question to you guys is this: will Bitcoin become number 1? And if so, when? King Earl.
Well, it can. I mean, it was worth $2 trillion last bull cycle. So, I mean, it potentially could, but where's Nvidia on that list? I mean, they were making their way on up there. But, you know, I view that it's a good asset that you could make a lot of money off of. It's a missed opportunity for most, but it's never too late. And especially if you can read charts, you can make up the difference a little bit. You're not going to make 1,000,000%, you know, but it's a good start, and it's a good reserve for holding. And you know, if we can get above that $5.88 trillion, the U.S. ain't gonna have no choice but to invest into it. So more power to it. Let's go, baby.
I mean, yeah, let's make it happen. Nash Cowboy, what do you think about this?
Did you say Bitcoin was what?
Number 6. They're behind Japan, China, Eurozone, United States, gold. So they are bigger than the United Kingdom, silver, Switzerland, India, and Australia. Can you imagine that? Nobody even knows who owns this asset, and it's the 6th largest in the world. What's going to stop it from being number 1?
It's the 6th largest asset
in the world.
Yeah,
well, I don't see how the U.S. is 5.88 because Ukraine's 14 trillion.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I think Bitcoin's on its way up. I think by the peak of the bull market, it will be in the 3 or pushing against like Microsoft and Apple and all those. And on its way up towards gold, but I don't think it'll hit there for quite some time. Now, do I think it will become the number 1 asset in the world? Yeah, one day it will. I really believe it will. I believe gold and Bitcoin are going to work hand in hand. That's my own personal belief. They're going to back each other. That's what I see in the future.
Okay, great. Yeah, gold as a safe haven and Bitcoin as more of a risky investment that can give you more upside. I agree with you there. Now, let's take a look at this. This is our last topic before we say goodbye. We've been live for almost an hour. Must want to remind you guys that everything we talk about is for information and education purposes. We're not licensed financial advisors. We're investors, just like you guys, and our opinions are strictly opinions. So please do your due diligence and do your research whenever we talk about any assets that you're thinking about investing into. And full disclosure, I'm an owner in Bitcoin and Ethereum, and so are my co-hosts. So we're not trying to tell you to buy Bitcoin or Ethereum or any crypto. We're just giving you our opinion based on historical trends and chart analysis and technical analysis. So my last topic here we want to talk about, we're going to have a little fun with this. This just came out today, and I want to know your opinion on this. Conor McGregor, the MMA UFC superstar who's become worth hundreds of millions of dollars for both his fighting and for his ability to sell whiskey. He's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. He now is wanting to run for president of Ireland. My question to you is, King Earl, do you think he wins?
Hell no.
No.
No, because there's an issue
We
that
said
goes
the
on.
same thing. We said the same thing about Donald Trump, and he won.
No, we didn't say the same thing about Donald Trump. They said the same thing about Donald Trump. Okay, we didn't say that. But the thing is, I think the last chart was based off GDP. Is where I just want to close on that part. But
Okay.
on this part, it's he's talking about one policy, and it might be good. However, in that tweet right there, and shutting things down. But is that your only policy, Connor? Like, where's the rest of your stance? Where's your world economic reform, your global affairs? You just gonna pummel and beat people in the face? You haven't been in the ring in over a year. You're doing movies. You're a movie star. This is your next role. I mean, Zelensky was the same freaking thing. See how well that worked for him, right? So, if you don't have an actual plan or you're not a businessman, I mean, you can sell whiskey and get the world drunk. I mean, that's start, I guess. But I don't think Kamala Harris is going to be sitting there sipping Mai Tais and whiskey with you there, bud. But the thing is that the Irish values in a global affairs stance is that they are extremely on the right hand side of the matrix. And they have a lot of oil that they can supply other nations. But the problem is they want a lot of these nations to cut out their liberal policies. And I mean on a massive stance, and cut the spending on those by a massive stance. And I think the standing policy on that is pretty good, but he's just going off of what he's saying now. He's just going to investigate people and shut down the government and something else that's a dolly, or I'm guessing it's their dollar, or something. I'm not for sure. The court system or something, justice system. Like, where's the rest of your policies? What are you running on? Which parties are you going to be running on? I mean, is this Leprechaun 5000 where you just take the luck of the Irish and throw a penny in the well and hope that you do good? That's how I stand on it.
Okay. Nash Cowboy, what do you think about this? Would you vote for Conor McGregor to be the president of Ireland? You think he can win?
Well, first to answer something that Earl said, which party do you stand with? Neither. He's independent. Conor McGregor has stated many times that he doesn't go with any party in particular. He used to support Trump, but he recently, to the best of my knowledge, now doesn't like him. I don't know.
Because he got that Hollywood money.
Yeah. So Connor is very money oriented, and whatever will pay him the most, he will do. So as much as I like Connor's showmanship and his ability to draw in a crown, he's a good actor, in my opinion. He's actually one of my favorite fighters. Not because he's a great fighter, although he's good. He's good. But he might even be my favorite fighter, just because he's so good at riling people up and bringing in the crowd. But when you think about it, it's an act to bring in money. It's all about the money to him, and whatever, in my opinion, whatever pays him the most if he was president, he's gonna do. Just like Kamala and Biden, or bought by China, in my opinion. So I don't think he would be a good fit for Ireland. Although I think he could very easily win it. He's got 50-1 odds against him, as far as I know. And if somebody would place a bet with me, I would be willing to throw down that he makes it.
I think he'll win.
How high?
I think he'll win. I think He will win over the audience. Like you said, he's very, very charismatic. I think he'll win over the voters. And I think he could shockingly win. If he actually runs, I think I could see him winning. But that's another topic for another day. We've been live for an hour now. Thank you guys for joining me, my co-hosts, Nash Cowboy and King Earl. You guys have anything left you want to say before we say goodbye today?
Yeah, Ukraine now has the technology to deploy thermite via drone, so they can do Agent Orange or white phosphorus burns pretty much. So get ready to look at war crimes in your near future potential. So just keep an eye on the news for that. There will be the claims that it's war crimes and they're just burning Russians alive and things like that. So, I foresee that being in the news soon. But do your own research and don't evade to the Russian propaganda machine or anti-propaganda machine. It is real collaborative. But, Reuters also getting shut down by the U.S., indicted, NVIDIA being subpoenaed, even though NVIDIA came out today and said that they were not subpoenaed, which is crazy news. So keep your eyes on the markets.
Stock didn't go back up after that news.
Keep your eyes on the markets and, vet your sources like we're saying. So that's all I want to say.
Nash Cowboy, any final words before we say goodbye?
Well, again, not financial advice, but I would throw everything you can into a solid investment after you research it, because we are on the cusp of an extremely good bull market. In my opinion, it's about to kick off, and right now is going to be one of your last chances to throw down on something that you research and believe in. And let's just buckle up and ride this bull market out and make some cash. Grab the bull by the horns. Let's go.
Yeah, invest it now because you might lose 50% of it next year.
NFL season starts tonight. NFL's on right now. Baltimore is leading the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs 7-0 in the fourth quarter. I'm going to go enjoy the game. You enjoy your day. Enjoy your week. We'll be back with you next week with the biggest trending news in the world of sports, politics, news, business, finance, crypto, you name it. We trade it and we talk about it. I'm your host, your boy, Rich from Rich TV, with Nash Cowboy and King Earl saying have a great day. We'll see you guys next week.
Cheers.